Hey everybody, it's Jimmy from the DIY and Digital, and today we're setting up JMRI and showing you how to program your first locomotive. Hey everybody, it's Jimmy from the DIY and Digital, and today I'm going to give you a brief run through of JMRI, just enough to get you going, to get your locomotives running. I don't go into the depths of JMRI, I just basically use it for running my locomotives. I don't do all the train planning or all that kind of stuff. My layout simply isn't big enough to need that. JMRI comes with several programs. The main two are Panel Pro and Decoder Pro. There's also Sound Pro and a few other ones. So the main one we're going to work with today is Panel Pro. Now I have a shortcut here. You can see where it is on the previous video and I'll link that right here. So let's open up Panel Pro. Okay, so once you boot up JMRI, it's going to bring you to a screen that says Name My Railroad. It should have a default one called My JMRI Railroad. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. This is where you'll create a new railroad. Then you'll come to a screen where you establish your connections. So this is what it will look like. It has a selection of manufacturers to choose from. You can see we have Atlas, we have, let's see what a few of these are here. We have Digitrax, we have Easy DCC, Hornby, MRC, NCE, a lot of the big ones are here. Even Raspberry Pi Foundation has one. Sprague is another one. But the one we're going to use is the system that I built myself using help from other internet creators. DCC++. This is an open source program using arduinos. So when you select your connection, if you're doing USB, you'll want to select serial port, DCC++ serial port. So we'll go ahead and click that. Next, we're going to select our serial port. Now this will be different for every computer that you use. It's different on the Raspberry Pi, it's different on my newer Windows computer. It is very simple. It says COM3, COM4, stuff like that. And Raspberry Pi, they give you several, just a random assortment of numbers and letters. So in our case, it will be the USB modem 1411. I just happen to know that that is what is the USB port. So we're going to go ahead and click that. And what it's going to do now is you're going to have to save this, and it's going to ask you to restart JMRI. So go ahead and restart it. Once you have JMRI restarted, we can go ahead and start putting in locomotives. So let's go ahead and start with that. So what you want to do is you want to click roster and then click roster again. And you'll get this screen. And now this looks a little bit confusing, but a lot of this is just simply instructions. The 1, 2, 3 gives you the instructions on installing a locomotive, or programming a locomotive rather. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to select DCC++ up here. Okay, so once you've done that, you'll need to turn your layout on. This big off button, you click it, and it'll turn your layout on. Next, we're going to click New Loco. So a few things about this. You want to make sure that your programming mode is set to DC++. When you originally click on it, it will be set to internal, so you'll want to switch that. Another thing is that if you have a programming track, this thing will automatically look for the decoders, and if it's in its database, it'll identify it. So we're going to go ahead and click Read Type from Decoder. And then it gives you a list of possible decoders. If you know your decoder, you can go ahead and pick it. So in my case, this is a DZ126IN from Digitrax. So I'm going to go ahead and click that. So you can see right here that it has the information that it thinks it is. But what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and read this decoder. So nothing's really changing right here. So we're going to go to the Comprehensive Programmer. Now this is your Comprehensive Programmer. You can put everything in to label your locomotive. So we're going to start up here, We're just going to title it NS8104, and then as a little identifier, I'm going to put Lehigh Valley, and then I'll put Norfolk Southern as the road name, and the road number is 8104. And that's probably what I'll do. I'll put Fox Valley as the manufacturer, if I can type. All right, so the next thing we're going to click is just the basic tab right here. So I want to look at the long address because I like to program my locomotives to their road numbers. It just makes everything easier. So we're going to click Read Full Sheet down here in the bottom. So right now this locomotive is programmed to 3. So we're going to go to the extended address and we're going to type in 8104. Now this is different for every locomotive. This just happens to be the road number. Once that's done, we can click Write Changes on Sheet. And then we have officially programmed our locomotive. So we'll click this and say Saved to Roster. And everything has been saved. So we can click out of here, and you can see now that we have NS8104 Lehigh Valley 8104 had the decoder name, road number, Fox Valley, and also here is the DCC address. So let's give this a quick whirl. Well, the way we're going to do that is we're going to select this locomotive and we're going to click Throttle. We're going to switch it into forward, and then we're going to click light. Now we can go ahead and throttle it up. And voila, you've programmed a locomotive. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this gets you started on JMRI, especially if you've ordered the Raspberry Pi Zero W from the previous video. Now I will say that the Raspberry Pi Zero W does not work nearly as fast as this computer. But one cool thing that I do is I go to Actions and I start my Y throttle server. And as you can see, I get an address on my Wi-Fi. Now if you have an Android phone, you can download the Engine Driver app and it will connect to this depending on your computer settings. I know you have to turn off your firewall for a Windows computer for this to run, but Macs run okay, and Linux Raspberry Pis run okay as well. There is also a similar app for iOS. All you have to do is search JMRI in the App Store and it should pop up. I can't remember the exact one because I use Android. But thank you guys so much for watching. We'll go over the details of Engine Driver in another video. It's a very cool and easy and totally free way to have wireless control over your layout if you're running JMRI. Until then, I'm Jimmy from DIY and Digital. Happy railroading.